Club Shai, free on eBay, SGA, free throws in 5. From Down Under, Eternal Slumber, Oklahoma City Thunder, free throws in 5. We hear it all the time. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a free throw merchant, a ruler of the foul shot, a Hall of Fame foul baiter, a pure form shooter. But do these claims hold weight? Is Shai truly the GOAT of shadow calls and is only in MVP discussions because he dresses well? Or is Shai simply a generational talent, sparking hatred and distaste from NBA Twitter? I seek to answer this question, observing Shai and whether or not he genuinely is bad for the game. We all hear about his unethical style of play and flopping, but is there any truth to the narratives? I'm Just Drew, and today we will find out how, or if, SGA is destroying the game of basketball.
Bothered by Lowe's. Iverson. How about that? Steps over to Ron Lowe.
Now before we get into the video, I just caught you with a pump fake. You probably thought that I'd just start the video. No, I foul baited you. I caught you jumping, leaned into you, and shot an egregious shot that may or may not go in. But you know what matters most? What matters most is that I'm on the foul line shooting 1 to 2 free throws. And I shoot 100% chat, no cap at all. So since I'm already at the foul line, like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe it'll let the refs know to stop calling embarrassing foul calls.
Splash. Now that you know how my eyes be.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a generational scorer. Regardless of how he does it, he finds a way to put the ball in the basket at all-time levels. In NBA history, only 6 players have averaged 30-plus points per game in 3 consecutive seasons. Shai, in only his 7th year, is already a part of that Hall of Famer-filled list with names like Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Shai also became the 9th NBA player in league history to have 3 50-point games over a 7-game stretch, scoring 40 or more points in 13 games this season. He shot over 60% from the field in 20 games this season. He's only scored less than 20 points in 1 game out of the 76 he played in. In 64% of games, he has had 30 or more points. This consistent scoring output out of a guard is something we have not seen since prime James Harden, who himself had 3 games under 20 points. And we have seen those comparisons between 2025 Shai and 2019 Harden. But in the year that Harden was averaging 36.1 points per game, he was shooting over 13 threes per game by himself. What is making Shai scoring so generational in the modern era of basketball is he is only taking 5.7 threes per game. If we compare efficiency rates between the two, Shai is shooting 51.9% from the field, 37.5% from 3, and 89.8% from the line with a 63.7% true shooting percentage. Meanwhile, peak Harden shot 44.2% from the field, 36.8% from 3, and 87.9% from the line with a 61.6% true shooting percentage. So no, those comparisons are not outlandish, as Shai has clearly been displaying difficult shot making at all-time levels of efficiency. In fact, Shai has the 25th highest PER in league history and has scored the 35th most points in a single season in NBA history. So this is a top 40 to top 30 scoring season of all time. But if he's so talented, how is Shai destroying the game of basketball? There has been an ongoing notion that Shai is a free throw merchant, and if you look at the basic numbers, this would be true. He's 2nd in free throw attempts per game and 1st in free throws made per game. Additionally, it's not even a close margin that makes him 1st in free throws per game. He leads over the person in 2nd, Giannis, by 1.4 free throws made a game. Additionally, he ranks 13th in the league in free throw attempt rate, measuring the number of free throw attempts per field goal attempt. To put that into perspective, there are only 2 other guards in the top 13 in free throw rate, but there is more than meets the eye. Shai's average field goal distance is only 12.9 feet from the rim. 6'9" LeBron James, as a reference, has an average shooting distance of 13.4 feet from the rim. In fact, let's break Shai's scoring numbers down to his position. The average field goal percentage for all point guards is 41.3%. Shai is shooting 51.9%. The average point guard shoots 16 feet away from the rim. Shai shoots 12.9 feet from the rim. The average guard shoots 52% of their shots from 2-point range. Shai shoots 73.7% of his shots from 2. So Shai somehow gets closer to the rim than some of the best finishers on the majority of his shots and attacks the rim more than his counterparts. So it would make sense that he'd get a lot of free throws per game, and would also make sense to acknowledge the skill that it takes to have such a small shot distance as a guard. But why does it feel like Shai is a free throw merchant? Well, it's because of the types of fouls he gets, which very much reflects prime James Harden. In fact, there are hundreds of compilations displaying some of the ghost calls or foul baiting calls that are supposed to be outlawed, by the way, that Shai gets. Shai leads guards by a 30 foul margin with 467 personal fouls drawn in the regular season. Shai is also leading guards in shooting fouls drawn by 42 total fouls. So while it is true that Shai is simply not a free throw merchant, it is also true that Shai gets considerably more calls, with some being rather questionable. And I agree, he pushes off a lot on his shot attempts, but that is simply how basketball is played, and he is not the only player who does it. If there's anyone to be mad at the refs. Yes, it is true that he baits for fouls and may hook people when shooting, but to hate him simply because of that is disregarding how great of a player he actually is. While I do think that Jokic should have won MVP this year, what Shai is doing is historic. He is having a generational playoff run in terms of scoring and efficiency, being in talks with Michael Jordan. He can very well lead the Thunder to the first finals victory. His first 2 finals games have been generational. He may very well spearhead the Thunder's dynasty, because let's be real, they got like 30 plus picks over the next 10 years. Sam Presti is up there with the people in Gary, Indiana, with the Indiana Pacers as doing some devious acts to ensure their future legacy, if you know what I mean. The point of this video though is, while Shai may not be a perfect ethical basketball player, you cannot ignore how great he is. You cannot ignore how no defender can stop him from scoring. You cannot ignore how he is bringing the mid-range back. You cannot ignore how smooth he is, but you can appreciate greatness. If you got to this point, make sure you like and subscribe, as it helps my channel reach the algorithm, and comment whether or not you think the Thunder are a future dynasty. We know that Shai is generational talent. We know that Shai is a generational scorer. We know that he has great defense. We know that he is one of the best players in the league. We know his potential. We know what he can become. But all we have to do at this moment in time is accept what we can control and accept what is reality. And the reality is, Shai will be running these MVP discussions. He'll be running best player in the NBA conversations. He'll be running all NBA conversations. He might even be running a Thunder dynasty. And maybe, just maybe, in 10 years, he's running in talks of the greatest guards of all time. But I don't know. We have to see. But as of today, the most we can do is accept reality. So no, Shai is not a free throw merchant. Yes, Shai gets questionable calls. But most importantly, Shai is greatness.